Hi everyone, my name's Eric and welcome to the day in the life of a dental student. So currently I am in my third year of dental school and today I'll be taking around on my typical day. So today I'm going to have a mix of lectures, clinics, and labs. Let's start our day. So, time to start my day. Today I have a pretty typical schedule that I kind of have every day. So it's currently 9 a.m. and I'm heading to the hospital right now for 9:30. I have a clinic where I'm going to be doing a filling on a patient's cavity. And then after that, starting at 11:30, I'm going to have a lecture. This lecture is going to be about how fluoride affects the teeth. So after that lecture, I'm going to have my lunch break. Following that, at 3 o'clock, I'm going to have my lab. Now, this lab is where you practice on mannequins, on teeth mannequins. So today we'll be practicing whitening. It's pretty simple. I've done it before, but it's good to just get in the habit so that when I'm actually doing it on patients, I do it properly and make sure there's no weird white spots or stuff like that. So, let's go. Time to go. So I just got out of the car. I'm walking to the hospital now. Here it is. Time to go in. So I just made it to the hospital to do my clinical for the day. So a clinical is where I practice my procedures on real patients. So the procedures I've learned in class on mannequins is where I can practice on real people. So today for my clinical, I'll be doing a filling on a 4-6 occlusal cavity. With my clinic, went very well. Now, move on to my next part of the day. Now it's raining, but I'm just leaving the hospital, as you can see behind me, from my clinic, and now I'm going to the university to do my next lecture of the day. Just made it to the university, walking to my class right now with my best dental school friend, Robin. Say hey, Robin.
Hey, guys.
Hey. We're super excited for class today. We're gonna learn about many exciting things. I'll keep y'all updated, don't you worry. Bye, see you soon. Just got out of our lecture. How was it, Robin?
It was awesome. There was so much learning going on.
So much learning. So today we learned about tooth decay and how it works, and then also how to reverse this tooth decay and how to make enamel stronger with fluoride. It was quite interesting, I must say. I'll explain to you later just exactly what we learned today and how it works.
See ya.
See ya. Look at our beautiful campus. I absolutely love this school. Now we're on our lunch break. During our lunch break, we like to have some fun. So today we're here shopping around on campus for some merch. Some Western swag. My favorite is this one or this one. Don't know if I'm gonna get anything though, because it's all kind of pricey. Enjoying our lunch break, Robin actually got some orange sorbet, yummy. And we actually did buy some stuff from the Western merch store. I'll show you what I got later. Now lunch is over, time to get back to work. Now we have our lab. So our lab today, we're practicing on a mannequin. We're gonna practice whitening. Very excited, let's hope it turns out good. All right, so just got out of our lab, it went really well. Now heading home, about to go to the car, and I'll update you guys on how my day was at home and what I learned and all that jazz. Robin, how was your day?
It was awesome. Lots of learning.
Lots of learning. You know,
And ice cream.
and ice cream. You know, us dental students, we love learning about anything. Teeth, science, and we also just love having fun. Oh, hey there. Just got back from my day out at school. Pretty tired, but so happy I'm home. And I actually did buy something today from campus. Let me show you what I got. Got this awesome Western sweater on sale. You already know what it is. Now, just let me put it on. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now that we're all geared up, let me take a seat. So now, I'm just going to explain to you more about what I did today and all the interesting things I learned about. So let me start off with some basic background knowledge about teeth. So teeth are composed of different parts. The outer layer of your teeth, this white part, is called enamel. It's about 1 millimeter thick. Under that is your dentin, which has a bit different composition, and then under that is where your nerves are. So, tooth enamel is the most mineralized tissue of the human body. Its composition is 96% inorganic material and 4% organic material and water. In dentin, under the enamel, the organic material represents 70%. This organic material is mainly composed of a calcium phosphate related to the hexagonal hydroxyapatite. In enamel, there are also a number of elements such as copper, cobalt, aluminum, lead, iodine, selenium, magnesium, and nickel. All these contribute to making the hard shell, which is your enamel on your teeth. Now, I started my day with a clinic where I did a filling. Now, I'll give you some information on what fillings really are and some of the history and chemistry behind them. So, in the past, teeth were filled with a mixture of different metals, most commonly known as amalgam. These types of fillings are highly noticeable and can present an unattractive sight when a patient laughs or smiles because they appear silver. Today, more natural-looking and metal-free fillings are becoming preferred. Tooth-like materials called composite resins are being used instead of the amalgam because they are both safe and predictable. The most important feature of these new composite resins is that they look, react, and feel more like natural teeth. So traditionally, amalgam used to be used for fillings. It has a chemical composition of about 50% silver, 30% tin, 29% copper, and 1% zinc, which is all set with mercury. These fillings are not as widely used anymore because they aren't too visually appealing as they look silver and they don't blend in with your teeth. They contain mercury, which could damage a person's health, and they do not actually bond to the tooth, so they are prone to breaking, falling out, or causing cracks in the teeth from excessive pressure. Instead of being bonded to the tooth, they are actually held in the teeth by undercuts or ledges made by the dentist to specifically hold the amalgam fillings in place. The more modern approach is called tooth bonding. This is the application of a tooth-colored resin composite material using adhesives and high-intensity curing light to fill a filling. Now, the most common composite resin is bis-GMA. It is formed from bisphenol A, BPA, and glycidyl methacrylate, GMA. It can be adhered to the tooth using different adhesives and is polymerized under ultraviolet light. When UV light is added to these BIS-GMA molecules, the energy from this light breaks bonds is in the BIS-GMA and creates free radicals. So when they have a bond, energy is provided to the bond and the bond breaks, and each side of the bond takes one of these electrons, making it a free radical. These free radicals are highly reactive and want to form new bonds. These free radicals create more free radicals and create the new bonds as well. These bonds form longer and longer polymers as more free radicals are made as well. These free radicals also form cross-links between the long polymer chains. These cross-links are what make resin composites very strong. The cross-links keep the polymers in a stiff structure, resulting in a very hard material. Cross-link polymers are also used in other fields, like in Kevlar and bulletproof vests. After the addition of the UV light, the resin composite gains tooth-like properties. Once several of these free radicals are formed, because they make new free radicals and make new bonds, it's kind of like a chain reaction that just gets bigger and bigger until all the polymers are formed. So polymers are just like long chains of this BIS-GMA molecule, long chains of them, repeated, and now the cross-links are little bonds in between the polymers. So these are the two polymers in between these polymers. This prevents the polymers from sliding around, right? They're stuck in place, which makes it very, very hard, which is good for teeth as it gives it its tooth-like structure, because our teeth are pretty hard as it is as well. Now sometimes, when a cavity goes deep into the tooth, past the enamel and the dentin, goes into where the nerves are, numbing is needed for the patient not to feel any pain. This is done with injections of local anesthetic into the gums or cheeks. The most commonly used local anesthetic by dentists is lidocaine. So in the nerve cell, specifically the axon, the lidocaine blocks the nerve conductances that transmit the feeling of pain from the point of administration, which is in your cavity filling, to the brain. On the surface of the nerves are sodium channels made from proteins. When sodium ions pass through these channels, it allows for the electrical signal to be sent through the nerve. The lidocaine blocks these sodium channels. This prevents the sodium ions from passing through the sodium channel. The block stops nerve conductances and prevents electrical nerve signals for pain from reaching the brain. So here is your little sodium channel, and the lidocaine comes and it blocks the sodium channel on the nerve, not allowing any of the sodium ions to pass through, so the electrical signals that would typically go through your nerves to your brain and signify that you're in pain no longer occur. So after my clinic where I did my tooth filling, I had my lecture at the university. So for my lecture, we learned about tooth decay and how fluoride can strengthen teeth. Let's begin with what is tooth decay? How does it work? So after eating sugar, primarily sucrose, sticky glycoproteins, which are a combination of carbohydrates and protein molecules, adhere to the teeth to start the formation of plaque. At the same time, millions of bacteria, known as Streptococcus mutans, or S mutans for short, also adhere to the glycoprotein. Although there are many oral bacteria that also adhere, only the S mutans are able to cause cavities. In addition, only the S mutans bacteria has an enzyme called glucosyltransferase on its surface that is able to cause the polymerization of glucose on the sucrose with the release of the fructose, because sucrose is fructose and a glucose. This same enzyme continues to add many glucose monomers to each other to form dextran, which is very similar in structure to amylose in starch. This dextran, along with the bacteria, adheres tightly to the tooth and leads to the formation of plaque. This bacteria in the plaque uses other sugars like glucose, fructose, and lactose in a metabolic process of glycolysis to get energy necessary for their survival. The end product of glycolysis under anaerobic conditions, which means no oxygen is present, is lactic acid. The lactic acid creates extra acidity, extra H+ ions, to decrease the pH to the extent of dissolving the calcium hydroxyphosphate that your enamel is made out of. A more common name for the calcium hydroxyphosphate is apatite. This process is called tooth demineralization. This is a process that occurs when a tooth is exposed to an acidic environment of pH 5.5 or below. And just to keep in mind, normal conditions for the mouth are neutral, around pH of 7. So here you can see with the equations, the calcium hydroxyphosphate can either only have its hydroxyl group removed or can fully break up into all of its components, calcium and phosphate. Preventative measures include frequent brushing and flossing to prevent plaque buildup. A diet rich in calcium and fluoride can help lead to stronger tooth enamel. Also, eating more complex carbohydrates that are low in sugar and no sucrose snacks between meals is also a good preventative measure. Mechanical brushing of teeth dislodges these bacteria and rinses them away, but it doesn't do anything to address the ongoing damage to enamel from acid exposure. Fortunately, saliva neutralizes these acids, and teeth use compounds found in saliva to remineralize the enamel. So your saliva may contain calcium or the phosphate group needed for remineralization of the apatite in your enamel. So, as long as the rate of demineralization and the rate of remineralization remain in balance, teeth remain strong and healthy. When more minerals are lost from the teeth than are replaced, dental cavities form. So, fluoride can actually help strengthen your tooth enamel. So the acids produced by bacteria in the mouth can dissolve tooth enamel in dentin, which is directly below the enamel, by leaching calcium and phosphate molecules from these hard tooth tissues. This process, called again demineralization, eventually causes cavity. When fluoride becomes chemically incorporated in the tooth, it makes the enamel more resistant to demineralization, thus preventing tooth decay. The calcium and phosphate compound, which makes up tooth enamel, is a modified form of hydroxyapatite, which is susceptible to attack by acids. Fluoride helps by interacting with hydroxyapatite to form a stronger compound that is less susceptible to acid attack. Also, fluoride remineralizes damaged enamel, though it cannot fix a cavity once it's formed. Fluoride ions can be found in tap water or in toothpaste and are usually found in the form of sodium fluoride or tin 2 fluoride. They convert hydroxyapatite in enamel to fluorapatite. This fluorapatite is more resistant to acids, therefore reducing tooth decay. The fluorapatite does not contain the hydroxyl group, OH, like hydroxyapatite. Instead, the hydroxyl group is replaced by a fluoride ion, so H+ ions will not be able to react with the OH to form water that is typically found in apatite. Therefore, it will not be able to break down this apatite. Here you can see the equation for how the fluorapatite is formed. And also, these are the two different equations. The top one is hydroxyapatite, and the bottom one is fluorapatite. As you can see, the fluorapatite does not contain the hydroxyl group, the OH-, which reacts with the H+ from the lactic acid to break down this apatite. So the fluorapatite cannot be broken down as easily by these H+ ions from the acid. So the last thing I did today was my lab, where I whitened a mannequin's teeth, where I practiced my whitening. So whitening may be accomplished by physical removal of the stain or a chemical reaction to lighten tooth color. This is done through bleaching, which is the chemical degradation of chromogens. So chromogens are what make your teeth discolored. The active ingredient in most whitening products is hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. Tooth stains consist of compounds that have color or darker shades called chromogens that are accumulated in the tooth or on the tooth. These can come from foods like coffee or wine, or from other factors as well. Chromogens fall into two categories: large organic compounds that have conjugated double bonds in their chemical structure, or metal-containing compounds. Bleaching of the organic compounds by hydrogen peroxide involves reacting with the double bonds to oxidize the double bond into a single bond. Because chromogens have conjugated double bonds, that means that every other bond is a double bond. It alternates between double bond and single bond. This allows for all the electrons to be shared between the molecule, kind of like a benzene ring. This is what gives the chromogens its strong color. When the double bond becomes a single bond due to the oxidization from the hydrogen peroxide, the electrons can no longer be shared through the molecule. This causes the chromogen to become a lighter colored compound. Now, bleaching of the metallic compounds is much more difficult. Better aesthetic options may be veneers, bonding, or crown. Some products claim to increase the oxidation of chromogens by exposure to heat or an intense ultraviolet light to activate the product while on the tooth, causing the chemical reactions to proceed faster. Here you can see a diagram of a chromogen known as B-carotene, which is orange colored, makes your teeth orange, and how it is being oxidized from the hydrogen peroxide to get rid of the double bond to appear lighter in color. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for following me on my day today. I really enjoyed having you follow me along. I'm so happy to share all my knowledge that I learned today with you about the science, the chemistry, all that. I just love it all, and I'm so happy I get to share it with you. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Leave a comment. I'll be happy to get back to you as fast as possible. And once again, thank you. Go Mustangs!